Hey, what is up, everybody? This is Stevie Breach coming to you here today. Today's edition of Monday Night Raw was not great. It was a good show. It was one where you're just setting the table for Crown Jewel. Crown Jewel looks like it's honestly going to be sort of like a ho-hum pay-per-view. It's going to be a SmackDown versus Raw. It's going to be, fighting for, battlegrounds of WWE, for brand supremacy of, who is the better champion. Kicking off tonight's edition of Monday Night Raw was Cody Rhodes coming out to the ring. Cody very quickly was interrupted by Seth Rollins, much like he was during the post-show of WrestlePalooza, where they had their face-off, champion versus champion. But at least this one is going to have a little bit of a storyline, much like, last year when it was just Gunther versus Cody Rhodes, SmackDown versus Raw. This one here actually has a long bracing storyline. The biggest storyline is that Seth Rollins has never beaten Cody Rhodes. Even at the point of him showing up to Hell in the Cell with a torn pec, Cody still found a way inside of that match to beat Seth Rollins, much like he did when he beat him at his debut at WrestleMania, when he came back to WWE at WrestleMania 38. And then you've also got the huge storyline of WrestleMania 40. Cody Rhodes could not have beaten Roman Reigns if it was not for Seth Rollins helping him the night before, during the tag match, being his partner, showing up the night of, even after losing his championship, wearing the Shield gear, being the Shield for Cody Rhodes. This is going to be a huge match. It's going to be a very, very big match. Will not be the last we saw of Cody Rhodes tonight, but from there, we moved on to Stephanie Vaquer. She got to come out and have her crowning moment. If she is the new Raw Women's Champion, she's going to be fighting against the winner on SmackDown, which is going to be, your SmackDown champion, Tiffany Stratton, going up against Nia Jax. And I just freaking forgot her name. I was going to call her Storm, and that's not her name. It's Jade. We made a video for that. We basically picked Jade to win that match because I thought that everybody thought that she was done after SummerSlam. Honestly, at this point, I think it might be Nia Jax. But as they were meeting up, congratulating Stephanie Vaquer, all of a sudden, Rhea Ripley is there. We also have Nikki Bella. Nikki Bella being nice to Stephanie Vaquer. I still think Nikki Bella is going to stab Stephanie Vaquer in the back. I'm going to say that each and every week until it finally happens. There's no reason for Nikki to be going around being this friendly, especially a week after getting her ass kicked by Asuka. But during this whole introduction, we have Asuka, we have Kairi Sane come up, and one thing leads to another, and we have a challenge for tonight's main event, and that is going to be Asuka going up against Rhea Ripley. Honestly, it was a really, really good match. What they're doing here is they're setting the table for Crown Jewel. Looks like we're going to be getting a Rhea Ripley and Io Sky going up against Asuka and Kairi Sane in a tag match. The matchup we saw tonight, Joe Tessitore said it was a WrestleMania-like main event. It was a Raw main event. I'll give it that to you. And it possibly was the better match of the two main events that we got tonight. But, what we got was Kairi Sane trying to hit Rhea Ripley, causing disqualification. Rhea Ripley caught the strike, but at the time she was going to be attacked from behind by Asuka. I don't know if she saw it coming or just was the lucky spot. Asuka ended up taking out Kairi Sane, and then Rhea Ripley rolled up Asuka for the 1, 2, 3. Rhea Ripley didn't get to celebrate her win, pretty much, because the second that Asuka got up, she shot the mist right into Rhea Ripley's face, took her out with a spinning back fist, and then ordered Kairi Sane to attack Rhea Ripley, only for Io Sky to come running down to make the save, At that point, Asuka and her looked like they made friends. They gave each other a big hug, but then we all knew it was coming. Asuka attacked Io Sky. And then Asuka ordered Kairi Sane to attack Io Sky, leaving Io Sky and Rhea Ripley to end the edition of Monday Night Raw in the back. I already made a video about this, but, just a little bit more since this is the Raw review, basically. We had Jey Uso arriving to Monday Night Raw. At that point, he ran into Jimmy. Jimmy was trying to get a rematch from WrestlePalooza against the two Brawns. But when he went to Adam Pearce, he found out that Jey Uso had already asked for a match against LA Knight. Basically saying that he needed to put LA Knight behind him before he can move forward with what is going on Monday Night Raw, trying to get another match against the Vision and the two Brawns. Jay went to Cody Rhodes, asked Cody to try and talk to Jay, and just say that, like, he needs to get back in place. He's not in a good spot in his head. Cody went and talked to Jay. The main topic of the talk was family, and I'm thinking about the three promos. Going back to Roman, going back to Jimmy talking to Jay, and now Cody. All of them have been about family. Are we setting the table for a story where Jay loses his family? Mostly because of the fact that he doesn't think he can trust his family, that they're not looking out for his well-being. We've all seen the War Games poster. Jay's not on it. I thought that maybe, Jay was going to take time off. Jay was going to get injured, something like that. But it looks like the storyline is going to be that he isn't on either team. And maybe that's the story. Is he going to help? Is he going to be a part? Is he going to be flirting with joining the Vision? But LA Knight and Jey Uso, they had a match. It wasn't spectacular, but at one point, Bronson Reed and Braun Breaker came down to the ring and they tried to attack LA Knight. At that point, LA Knight fought off both guys, but when he came back into the ring, he was met by a spear by Jey Uso, who put him down for a 1-2-3. He got the pin and then immediately left the ring. And at that point, the two Brawns decided they were going to get back into the ring and they were going to beat up LA Knight. Then Jimmy Uso came running down with the steel chair, trying to fight everybody off after he asked Jay to go down there with him. And Jay just decided it was time just to walk off, and he was done for the night. So another thing to pick up, not once, but twice during this show, Seth Rollins and Paul Heyman were ordering Braun Breaker to back off. Braun wanted to fight Cody. Braun wanted to fight Jay. And both times was told to stand aside, to stand down. This wasn't your fight. Something with Braun is coming. And I'm hoping it's going to be a big table like War Games to be coming down the road. In your semi mid-card kind of things, we had a few things come up during the night. Nothing really spectacular. But the War Raiders and Penta, mostly Penta, took out New Day and Grayson Waller. It was a Mexican Destroyer Fest. We had a thing in the back with Dominic basically getting bullied by Rusev, trying to get an Intercontinental Championship shot. At that time, Dominic ran to the Judgment Day. Finn Balor basically said he was too busy playing a switch to be able to help. JD McDonough said he wasn't interested in helping, but at that time, Roxanne Perez said, "Hey, JD, do it for the Judgment Day." And JD said, "Hey, I'll help you, Dom," thinking that he's going to be in his corner. No, Dominic put JD McDonough in the match against Rusev. JD McDonough and Rusev go out there and have a good match. I really enjoy JD McDonough. I can't remember the last time that he got a singles victory. I do enjoy him in the tag team with Finn Balor. Not really sure. They're still a stable, but I'm not really sure what Finn Balor and JD McDonough are doing so far as a tag team going out there. But basically, Rusev beat JD McDonough. At this point, JD McDonough was being held in Rusev's finisher, and Dom went like he was going to attack Rusev from behind and just kind of like froze in his tracks. At that point, Finn Balor ran all the way from the clubhouse to the ring and attacked Rusev to yell at Dom saying, "What are you doing?" And like, "Why aren't you helping?" And, that's why you're out there, is to help. And so I don't know what's going on. I thought the storyline was going to be getting to Finn Balor taking this Intercontinental Championship from Dom because of all the faces and like the being happy when Dom was put into a bad situation. But I don't know how we get to Dom, being with team with El Grande Americano, or I just don't know how the Judgment Day gets better. I do enjoy the Judgment Day storyline, but it looked like it was a well-oiled machine. But in the last 2 or 3 weeks, we're going back to them drifting, far apart. So I don't know. Maybe we're getting close to when Liv's going to be coming back, but we'll see. Bayley and Lyra Valkyrie, they had a match. They didn't really have a match because it was a singles match of Roxanne Perez going up against Bayley, but Lyra and Raquel were out there. Bayley got the win, but then as soon as it was over, it was like she heard the Festus spell, and she attacked Lyra Valkyrie, telling her to leave her alone, even though throughout the whole night, she was glad that Lyra was around. They were best friends once again, but definitely Lyra is catching on that something is wrong with Bayley, and we just need to figure out what it is going to be. That seems like everything that it went down on Monday Night Raw tonight. I know that we have announced matchups for next week's Raw. We have the 2 Brawns going up against the Usos. We finally are going to get that rematch from WrestlePalooza. This one is going to be a tornado tag match. Should be the main event of the night. We're going to be getting Bayley versus Raquel in singles action, and then Dom is going to be putting the Intercontinental title on the line against Rusev. So looks like a pretty good addition on Monday Night Raw next week. But tonight's night, it was a good episode of Raw. Wasn't a great episode, but it was fun. Rhea versus... I don't know, what was I saying? Rhea versus Asuka, main event.